how can I make the people that work for me be better, and how can I be a better leader for them? I think that's one of the great things about, being a business owner and having that, and even being a Christian.
Yeah.
And how can you minister to them, and how can you show the love of the Lord to people that you work with?
As you're saying all of that, I think the biggest word that kind of like hits me in my face is intentional.
Yeah.
You have to be intentional about everything you're doing. You're being intentional about your ingredients. You're being intentional about leading. You're being intentional about how you go about your business and who you bring around you. Hey everyone, welcome back to Access Las Vegas. My name is Sharelle Mendenhall and I am beyond excited. So for me, as we're filming right now, this is before Valentine's Day, and this beauty happens to have some of the most delectable treats you've ever tried in your life. I have tried them personally. So I'm excited to introduce you to Chef Ashlie.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay, so there are so many questions I have for you. So you walked into being a chef. Why did you start being a chef in the first place?
So I have the gift of service. I just love serving people. I also have the gift of hospitality. I'm naturally a creative person, and I just love being creative and cooking. I love food. I love the whole dynamic together, and yeah, it's just so much fun for me.
Okay. And so what age were you when you started that?
So I started, so I went to culinary school late in life. So I went when I was 33.
Mm-hmm.
So before that, I was a promo model.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Las Vegas. I did that for all of my 20s. Mm-hmm. And so kind of how I started into cooking was as a promo model, you had to eat really healthy, but I always loved cooking. And so I used to meal prep. And so I had a lot of roommates and a lot of girls that were in the industry of promo modeling and bottle service girls and stuff like that. And so they would come over to our house and they would be like, "Oh my gosh, you know how to cook?" I said, "I do." They was like, "Can you cook for me?" And I was like, "Ooh, okay, I got a lot on my plate." But they were like, "I'll pay you." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, okay." And so all these girls kept coming up to me and wanting meal prep. And I didn't really know what I was doing, but that was kind of like my first start into being a chef. And then they would be like, "You need to do this as a job. You need to go to school for this." So when I was a couple of days before my 33rd birthday, I was raised as a Christian, but I kind of fell away, and I just felt, which I know now was the Holy Spirit. I had this nudge saying, "You have to go now." And if I wasn't obedient at that time, if I had waited one semester less, the school ended up closing. I went to the Art Institute of Las Vegas, and they ended up closing. So that was just me being obedient, even when I didn't know I was being obedient, right? And so I went to culinary school, and then I ended up getting an internship at the Cosmo, and it just sort of progressed from there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I always say that I love to bake. I love to cook, but nothing I do is 99.9% of the time going to be pretty. Like
that's how my baking is. So I love it, yeah.
So just like when I see all your photos and you put it all on display, and your most recent coffee rubbed steak, and like as I'm like stalking you, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that looks delicious. It sounds delicious, and it looks beautiful." Like it's like I'm not taking pictures of my food. Like you. So I love that. And so you have a passion for food. You have a passion for nutrition.
Yeah.
If you could, so in this space, so you do the truffles, and we're going to get to that because, again, Valentine's Day and, getting real treats versus whatever's out there in the world. But what is your favorite thing to do in this space? Do you like the meal prep? Do you like doing events? What is it that you personally enjoy to do?
Yeah, so my passion is events. I'm from Florida, and I do have a little bit of a Southern vibe to me with my cooking. I like farm to table. I like fresh ingredients. So on my website, I change my menu twice a year. So I do a spring, summer, and then a fall, winter. And I love, so I have chefs that work for me, and they always get mad at me because I change my menu up all the time. And they're like, did you not, you haven't done this before? I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, okay. But that's just like my style, my personality. I love always creating and trying new things. I love like the learning aspect of cooking. So events for me is like being able to create new things all the time. And then as it goes into my acts of service and hospitality, I just love cooking for people. And I love like if someone's like, oh, I love, Italian food, and I love going in and then like trying, like having like the best chicken parmesan or whatever it is for what they do. And then I just love being around my guests and my clients, and I love interacting. So for me, I knew going into being a chef, I wasn't going to work in a restaurant, although I did because I got the experience and stuff. But I wanted to be like with my clients and hang out, and I want them to be like, oh my gosh, it's so good.
That's incredible. I love that so much. And it's real because we're inundated with so much information on what's good for you, what's not good for you.
Yeah.
Like full satiation, what that actually means. And so to have someone who can come in and take all of that off your plate, because, it's not just the grocery shopping, it's then the cooking and the prepping and the cleaning and the dishes, like everything that goes along with it. So you're taking all of that off the plate. So and I don't know I'm blanking on the book, but I think it's called Buy Back Your Time. Yeah. And you are able to then, if we bring you in to meal prep for the week, to serve whatever that looks like, you get to enjoy more time with your family.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's sort of my thing with my events. It's like I do all the work. I come in, I do the menu, and then I grocery shop. I do the cooking and the prepping. I come to your house. I do everything. Depending on how big the event is, I will have a server or a bartender or whatever it is you need. And then you get to spend more time with, your loved ones and your family and your friends. So you get to be the host, and I do the back end of it. So you get all the credit, and I just sit back and,
do what you love.
Enjoy what I love doing.
That's amazing. But so there's the events, but then there's like the practical, like throughout the week too, you know? And because at the end of our life, what really matters is like, man, the impact we had with our family. Yeah. The time we got to spend with them, Yes. But like, I don't know how many times, it's like you listen to, was it Scotty McCreery's 5 More Minutes?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, like if you're a country fan, but you just know, it's just like, I just want 5 more minutes.
That's beautiful.
5 more minutes. So it's just like, what does that look like? What decisions are we making today? Yeah. In order to be able to free us up to spend time with the people we love. Yeah. And, sometimes it does. It's a rebudgeting, it's a reallocating in order to be able to have a chef come in and take care of, but you quickly find out how worth it it is to reallocate and to buy back your time. Yes. So shifting gears, I want to talk about these truffles in front of us because I'm just like eyeing them. And to this day, I remember, because a lot of times I've had truffles and they've just been like, I'm okay. In wherever you go, because a lot of people call things truffles that aren't truly truffles. And then they also use ingredients that are subpar. Yes. I think that is a massive contrast from what you have presented in front of us. And you came to one of our worship nights, you introduced them. I was a little bit sketchy about trying it. I tried it and I was like, oh my gosh, what are these? This is nothing like I've ever tasted before. And I'm not a huge sweets person per se. Yeah. But it's like, if I'm going to have, chocolate, I want it to be something that's memorable, that I love, that's worth it, that I don't care how many calories are in it. So tell me a little bit about what we have in front of us. Yeah. So first of all, I'm a savory chef, but I have been known for my chocolate truffles. And it started as, it was actually my mother. And she was, when I was first starting my business, she's like, when you do your events, you need to do something fun, and you need to like gift somebody something that, they'll love or whatever. And we're like trying like different ideas and stuff. So we try, she's like, a chocolate truffle. Isn't that fun? And whatever. And so I started playing with ideas and stuff, and
got this truffle that you see before me. And so I would do my event, and then I would give everybody one chocolate truffle. And they'd be like, oh my gosh, these truffles. And so they'd be like, do you make truffles? And I was like, well, I'm a savory chef. I'm not really pastry, but yeah. And then I now I'm known for my truffle. I did a few events over the holidays, and they're like, oh my gosh, the truffles. These are really good truffles. That really is, it's not really so much me as it's the ingredients, right? Because you're only as good as your ingredients. And so I give really good ingredients, really good source chocolate, and just, it's just the ingredients kind of speak for itself. It's 3 ingredients, and the chocolate's really good chocolate, and these are the truffles.
And are these just regular chocolate truffles, dark chocolate truffles, coffee truffles? What are they?
The ones I brought today are just a regular classic dark chocolate truffle.
Okay.
Yes.
And what variations do you do? Do you, again, kind of going back to your thing where you like to play and have fun, do you change it up? Or do you have kind of a set list of the truffles that you like to make?
Yeah, I just I play with it, and I do whatever. I worked for I was the executive chef for a startup company, and I was the recipe developer for a vegan restaurant. And so I started playing with vegan truffles. So I do vegan truffles. I do all kinds. I love, again, like being the creative aspect, like I love to do anything. So I sort of use my savory side sometimes. Like I made like a bacon vanilla truffle.
How was that?
Really good.
that reminds me of like a bacon maple donut or something.
Yes, I made bacon maple ice cream, and that's how I came up with the concept with the truffle. So yeah, so I like to play with all kinds, all truffle. I mean, the fun thing about a truffle is you have like your base, and then you can play with all kinds of fun stuff. So yeah.
That's amazing. So do you teach people to cook? Do you have cooking classes, or is it just your specialty is to come in and take care of them?
So yeah, I am starting a cooking school, and I'm going to be teaching cooking classes, and I have cooking programs coming out. It's not going to be until probably the fall of this year.
Okay.
But yeah, I have some really fun stuff doing with that. And I even have some cooking class retreats.
So we can do like a date night thing.
Yes.
And come in and learn to cook something fun and have, I love this. Okay, all right. Sign me up. I'm in. Don't make it look pretty. Or maybe teach me to make it look pretty. So, I mean, moving on. So as far as, and I think that this is really important in businesses. So as the executive chef, how many people do you typically have working for you, and how do you translate excellence to the entire team?
Yeah, so it's just me, and then so if it's if I have an event that's 10 or more, then I will bring in other chefs on the day of the event and stuff like that. Yeah. And when I first started culinary school, and then I started working in restaurants, I sort of I went in looking at restaurants as, how do I want to be as a business owner? And I would see certain chefs and certain stuff do things, and I would say, that's how I want to be. And one chef particularly sticks out, and he, I won't name him, but he said one time, he goes, when a chef messes up, I don't look at what they do. I look at how I could have served them better or be a better person. And that's very, if anybody knows about chefs, that is very unique. And I remember hearing that, and it was like one of my first jobs. And I thought, oh, that's cool. But then as I got on and knowing in the chef world, I thought, wow, that's how I want to be. So I want to be a leader and a person that, because everybody can, you can be a business owner, but to be a leader is different. You have to be set apart.
That's a good point.
As a Christian leader, you have to, a lot of times in my business, I will let my chefs do the fun jobs, and I'm picking up the trash, because I want, it is what it is. You can't, be too good to do anything. You have to work in all areas of your business. Yeah. And so I think that being like, how can I make the people that work for me be better, and how can I be a better leader for them? I think that's one of the great things about, being a business owner and having that, and even being a Christian.
Yeah.
And how can you minister to them, and how can you show the love of the Lord to people that you work with?
As you're saying all of that, I think the biggest word that kind of like hits me in my face is intentional.
Yeah.
You have to be intentional about everything you're doing. You're being intentional about your ingredients. You're being intentional about leading. You're being intentional about how you go about your business and who you bring around you.
Yeah.
And intentional about taking in like what God has said over you, and then great advice from good people in your industry. And I think so often people want to be good at something or want to be free. Like if they have something they're in bondage from and that they can't break free from, what are you doing to change that?
Yeah.
What are you doing to make yourself better? Make yourself a better leader? Are you looking to other leaders throughout and are you reading their books? Are you studying how they lead so that way you can actually get that revelation for yourself? You can actually start practicing that on a daily basis. We some reason want to just by osmosis. I watched Ashlie have all this success. She's an incredible chef, savory truffles, whatever. And I want to be like her, but they don't put in the work.
Oh, exactly. Yes. and you need to have a covering. I'm big on you need to have a covering. You need to be planted in a church if you're Christian and all that. That's very big. That's something that the Lord has really embedded in me. That you have to have a covering. You're only as good as your covering. You need to have mentors. People mentored me as being a personal chef, and I'm always learning. You can always grow from somebody. And I like what you said, like people always, they want to be the first, or they want to be, the business owner or whatever, but they don't know what it takes to do that. And the struggle and everything that goes into that,
Yeah. And that's so good. Actually, on my drive in here, I was actually listening about being planted. It's weird how it's become normal because there's so many churches and portals and things like that. They're not actually planted in a space to be able to grow, to get to that church. It's like, oh, I might go to this one. I might go to that one. It was Jonathan Shuttlesworth I was listening to, and it's just like, it is weird that's become normal.
Very weird.
If you're not fed, and it's not like, if that's not your church, that's not the one God's called you need to get under one that is speaking to you. And I'm not talking about, I don't feel it this day, so I'm going to go something. And then you go, that they preach the word of God and get cemented in. Yes. And I want to kind of go back and double down on something that's like personal. So I know that personally what happened with Blake. Yes. And, him getting in his snowboarding accident and him severing his spine and becoming a paraplegic. So I want to fast forward to this past holiday. And he came out for the holidays and we got to spend time with him. And he's on a FaceTime and he's like, when I'm there, I want to do basically like this boot camp. He's like, I want to go hiking in his wheelchair, which is like right behind the house, to go up to the water tower. I want to, be getting up early. I want to do all these things because he's like, I want to be D1 basketball.
Wow.
He is on a road and on a journey because he wants to make the basketball team for Arizona. So he's like, this is my road to D1. And so he's making videos and content. And so I've been helping him with that. I started in the beginning and now he's running and doing incredible. But it was so powerful because we're going up this mountain. And at some point I'm like, to give his shoulders a rest, I was like, I'm going to push you to this distance and then you're going to go the rest of the way. And as I'm pushing him, he's like, are you sure you can do this, Sharelle? Are you sure? And I was like, I'm going to do my job. You do your job. And I just see his work ethic.
Wow.
To go after something that he genuinely, it's this goal and it's this dream. It doesn't matter because before he was an athlete, and the thing that he sees is like, there are people who've been in wheelchairs their whole life. I have a disadvantage on time. So that means I have to work so much harder to be able to get where I want to go. And I feel like that's such a lost art.
That's so beautiful.
People aren't working hard to be the best chef.
Yeah.
To create. I can only imagine how many countless hours you've spent poring over, different ingredients and trying to see if this works or doesn't work, to make a vegan truffle, non-vegan truffle, different elements to be good at what you do.
Yeah. The Lord told me in 2020, he gave me a word. He goes, for my business, he just gave me one word. He goes, be adaptable.
Mm.
And I was like, what does that mean at the time? I was like, what? And then I started like looking it up and thinking about being adaptable. And the Lord's like, and that's one is our Christian walk, but two is how it is in business.
Mm.
So you need to pivot. If the Lord tells you to pivot, you pivot over here or whatever here.
Mm.
And one of the things that kind of caught me up, because I was a perfectionist. I am a retired perfectionist. And I feel like a perfectionist is something the devil tries to say to you to hold you back, because that's not of God. The only perfect person is Jesus.
Yeah.
And if we were perfect, we wouldn't need our high priest, Jesus, right? And so the Lord started sort of teaching me about that and my own struggles of, I have to be perfect. I have to be perfect. But in business and being a business owner, you have to go and you're going to fail. Like I learned that, I was so caught up on I don't want to fail. I want to fail. And it was like, and the thing about business is, when you walk with God, you're walking in your God's plan and purpose for your life, but you're also like, God is teaching you.
So good.
And it's so beautiful, you know? And so in these like walking in our plan and purpose, we're learning how God is teaching us, and I think that's so beautiful.
It is. And I was giving a speech. I was speaking at a business conference. And, the line that I got was, I have an unfair advantage because I have the Holy Spirit as a business partner.
Yes.
And so in life, if we tap into that and apply the steps, because, just going back to the Bible, it says, this is the way, walk in it.
Yeah. Not
sit in it. Like, it's just this weird culture of just sitting and waiting and wanting to blow up on TikTok when you post one video and you're not doing it, and be able to create a revenue. Be willing to put a video up that no one likes.
Yes.
Be willing. Okay, this is my skill set. I don't need to mimic anybody else too, because that's going to be egregious and that's a tiresome. And then you need to break from it. What are you passionate about? What is God teaching you to do? And then do that consistently.
Yes.
And watch his favor rest upon you in business and in life. So, Chef Ashlie, I have so many, again, I feel like I could talk to you forever. So many things we could talk about. But before we pivot, because I wanted to ask you about a new thing that you're doing with one of your girlfriends. But before we do that, where can they find you? Where can they sign up to get meal prep for events, these delicious chocolates? Where can they find you?
Yes, you can find me on my website. So it's chef-ashlie, it's ASHLIE.com.
So on Instagram as well, correct?
Yeah. So on Instagram, it's chef_Ashlie, ASHLIE. And that's my Instagram. Yeah.
Yes, that's where I stalk you and your posts and the food and I don't know why, but I was like, I want to try this chocolate. Was it sweet potatoes under it, or what was the bedding for the coffee rub roast or?
Oh, it was so I'm really known for my my mashed potatoes. So I worked at Joel Robuchon L'Atelier.
Ooh,
and Joel Robuchon is known for his mashed potatoes. So it's my play on them. It's not exactly his mashed potatoes. He gets his potatoes. It's a particular potato, and I think they're flown in from France.
Okay.
But I do a play on it. Yeah. So it's a potato puree.
Oh, okay. All right. I was looking at it. I was like, this looks amazing. I think I was in the middle of my fast too. And that's probably why
and that always comes that way, right?
It jumps off the page. I'm like, I don't know what it is, but I think I need it in my life. So pivoting really quickly, because I think that it's beautiful that you have a heart while here in Las Vegas to host a singles Bible study gathering.
Yes.
I mean, I talk about this, constantly, the amount of messages that I get from people being like, hey, do you know a good Christian man? Do you know a good Christian woman? And to be honest, you might be seeing this after the event has happened, but I'm praying for people who even come to the Roar Fest to find someone, because I truly believe in God-given relationships. I would not be who I am today without my husband.
Amen.
And that relationship and how he sharpens me and makes me a better person.
Yeah.
So briefly, tell me about what this is and when is your meetups?
Yes, so I lead a Christian singles Bible study with a sister in Christ, Michelle, and originally it was at my home. But God started really expanding the vision and the mission. So we are going to do Christian single mixers. We're going to do Christian single events. And it really comes from, well, I'm also a Christian single. And it comes from, God... I was single for 7 years. It was something that the Lord told me to do. And then when the Lord told me to go out, I prayed about it, and the Lord told me to go on to the Christian dating apps. And I've always been around really, really good Christian people, not to say anything, but I started going on the apps, and I was like, oh, wow, okay. Everyone is at different levels or whatever. And the Lord began to minister to me and have his heart for the Christian single, and how much, marriage is so important, and a covenant. Yeah. And so
covenant.
A covenant is so important. And what started off as a Christian singles Bible study is sort of moving into more of a Christian singles movement. And the Lord said, it's not a coincidence that is being birthed in Las Vegas, because people think of Las Vegas as the city of sin, or it's like hookup culture or whatever. And the Lord wants to have his hand on that and take that back. And the Lord wants covenant, and the Lord, that's biblical. Yeah. And so we want to teach biblical principles and be spirit led and create a community and a movement for Christian singles. There's not so much of a space in the Christian churches, which we have our own thing, right? Yeah. And so I believe that the Lord is a vision that the Lord has given me, and I'm really excited to be a part of it myself. Yeah. And to go out in Las Vegas and build a community in a space for Christian singles to create events and Bible study and teach how God has taught us about, marriage and relationships.
So beautiful. And two things. Number one, your husband's going to get a treasure when he gets you. Not only is it the food, but someone who loves God, and just like your passion and how sweet you are, and very, very intentional, very thoughtful. And number two, I would like an invite to the wedding, because I feel like I'm prophesying it over you right now and speaking it over your life, that you're going to find the man of God for your life this year. And I just want to speak that over you, just like that blessing. So I'm so excited for you. Thank you so much for joining us. You guys, you have to follow Chef Ashlie. I will also caution you to not look at her page while you're on a fast. But other than that, you can follow her to the T. She will be at the Roar Fest as well. I know she's doing some pre-orders. If you want to get some chocolates, there's some bark. I've already done it myself. So thank you so much for joining us on Access Las Vegas. You guys, my name is Sharelle Mendenhall. I'll see you next week. Guys, I am coming to you so thankful for Century H2O, because not only are they changing water, changing lives, but they're also partnering with us to give back to the Roar Fest. So when you use code TRF, you're getting 10% off of everything that you purchase through Century H2O, but also they're going to be giving back 10% to the Roar Fest, and we're going after preventing child trafficking this year. So don't forget, go to centuryh2o.com and use code TRF.
Access Las Vegas is hosted by Sharelle Mendenhall. Follow her online at Sharelle Mendenhall. Thank you to Chef Ashlie for being our guest on this week's episode. For more information, check out chef-ashlie.com and follow online chef_Ashlie.